Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jaylee. This is Jaylee's Corner. This is going to be a quick little live before I go to work. Okay, so I will not be here that long. So for those watching live, thank you. For those who watched the replay, thank you too. Okay, child, it has been a busy day or two for the world because yesterday news broke that Sean P. Diddy, what's all this man's name? Sean Combs, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, P. D. Love, and any other iteration of that man's name. He was arrested over there in New York. Okay, and I did not want to go live or discuss it yesterday because there were no details. It was just that he was arrested or whatever. And today we have the information. We can watch a little quick press conference and get a bit into the actual 14-page indictment. Okay. So again, thank y'all for being around here. And again, this is an impromptu quick little live, okay? But I hope everybody having a great, what's this, Tuesday? Happy Tuesday. Taco, tequila, and titties and stuff or whatever. I am here. Wait, where I'm at, okay? Hey, how y'all doing? Like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that stuff. Follow me on social media at JayLeesCorner on IG, Twitter, TikTok. Y'all, Diddy out here charged, Diddy out here arrested, Diddy out here getting Diddy bopped, okay? Getting Diddy bopped by the FBI, not the FBI, was federal. So yes, the FBI, okay? I feel like we saw it coming. It's not even that we're surprised because I think we felt it coming down the pipeline and we were just waiting for something official, but this man right here, child, he going down. Now, look, everybody, between the people we've lost that's just died recently, rest in peace, Tito Jackson, to, R. Kelly, who's in jail, Young Thug, who's been locked up for a little bit of time or whatever. It's just people is doing things and chickens is coming home to roost, okay? I don't know if this started before Cassie's lawsuit or after Cassie's lawsuit. A piece of me feel like it was before, and that may have also been a reason why Cassie felt safe enough to come around and then say, not today on my watch, Jesus. I'ma sue this man and whatnot, and I got my money. We know that Dawn just recently filed a lawsuit against him, alleging things and whatever. So yeah, where the thing at? Okay, let me share my screen. Hold on, right here. So we have the indictment. Okay, the United States District Court, Southern District of New York. Okay, it's them versus Sean and all his names. Okay, it was sealed yesterday, but it was unsealed today. Okay, and after we read through a little bit of this, we will play the actual press conference and stuff. So again, hey y'all, how y'all doing? I hope y'all having a good little Monday. It's Tuesday, a good little Tuesday. Okay, and stuff right now. I'm popping on just to say that. Okay, it was okay. Again, Diddy 14-page indictment. Count 1, racketeering. Okay, now I said, child, Rico, I need people to understand that when you have multiple charges, when you use your organization and you create an organization of crime, it's called racketeering. It's called RICO charges. Nobody should want a federal. No one should be wanting a federal indictment. Okay, because that means you're going to jail. Okay, not many people who have these federal indictments get off because that means the police, the feds, and everybody around and their mamas have been sitting down and letting you do dumb stuff as they build up the case. Okay, and I feel like Diddy in the 90s, in the early 2000s, was untouchable. Okay, he felt like he was untouchable. And I said, sir, you got touched. And because we now can fully, I said to my sister yesterday, I said, I have been hearing rumors about Diddy and his temper and stuff since the late 90s. Okay, since I was in high school. Okay, and now it's happening in real time. Okay, so let me get on here. Okay, a grand jury. Okay, look, you don't want no RICO. I just need people and not if you gonna do dirt, you need to figure out what dirt you can do that ain't illegal to get you a RICO charge. Okay, because it's one thing if just you did something, if you solely did a bad deed and you go to jail, that's bad person. Okay, take that. Okay, however, when you are the head of an organization and the people up under you is helping you create and commit and do these illegal things, it's called racketeering, conspiracy, and not everybody going to jail. Everybody going to jail. Okay, and I feel like Diddy did a disservice to the people who he intimidated to help him. Now, because back then it was Diddy bopping all around the country. Okay, let me read. For decades, Sean Combs, all the nicknames, okay, abused, threatened, coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desire. Now, look, I want y'all to know, even though I am saying things in a joking manner because I am trying to entertain through the BS, we know that none of this is a laughing matter. We know that none of this is this is serious stuff. However, I have to get myself some energy. Because again, I gotta get through this and go to work. But I don't want anyone thinking, why she using I'm trying to entertain while reading 14 pages. Okay. So please come here and remember this is, we are a channel, love, light, and positivity in the midst of foolishness. Okay. Anyway. Defendant. Okay, Sean Combs, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, PD, Love, abuse, threaten, and coerce women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. RICO. Okay, to do so, Combs relied on the employees, the resources, and influence of the multifaceted business empire that he led and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise. RICO. Okay, a criminal enterprise. RICO. Okay, whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, trafficking of the sex, okay, forced labor, taking people against their will, okay, arson. Y'all know he burnt up with the kid Cuddy car, okay, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Okay, Sean Combs, Diddy, and other stuff, operated his business headquartered at various times in Manhattan and LA, under a variety of U.S.-based corporate entities, including Bad Boy, Combs Enterprise, Combs Global, all the entities of him stuff. Okay, the record labels, recording studio, apparel line, Mm-hmm. Alcoholic Spirit Businesses, a marketing agency and a television network and media company. He's finna get everybody caught up, okay? The defendant engaged in a persistent and persuasive pattern of abuse towards women and other individuals. This abuse was at times verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual. As a part of his pattern of abuse, Combs manipulated women to participate in highly orchestrated performances of sexual activity with male commercial sex workers. Okay, meaning it wasn't just females; it was also the men's too. It was penises and vaginas. At times, Combs and others acting at his direction, meaning his employees. Okay, other people gonna get around here and get in trouble too. Okay, y'all heard my mind. Like the video, like, subscribe, and share. Okay, all of that. But again, wait, wait, it was also me. It was also me. Wait, boom, 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 boom. Try to say I'm talking too much. Where is it? Okay. The abuse account. Okay, verbal, blah blah blah. As part of the abuse, women to present how many I said the oh, okay. Combs motivated women to participate in highly operated performances of sexual activity with male commercial sex workers. At times, Combs and others acting at his direction made arrangements for women and commercial sex workers to fly to Combs' location. Combs ensured participation from the women by, among other things, obtaining and distributing narcotics to them, controlling their careers, leveraging his financial support and threatening to cut off the same and using intimidation and violence. So when people ask, well, why did they stay? Why did they? It's because of the control he had over them, okay, and them feeling like, well, I have no choice. And if I'm up here high and he's my boss, what I'm supposed to do, okay? And again, this child. You have to understand a person of power is dangerous in the fact that they know I can control this because I not only control them, I control people around them. You know what I'm saying? Physical abuse by Sean Combs was recurrent and widely known on numerous occasions from at least in or about 2009 and continuing for years. Combs assaulted women by, among other things, striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects at, and kicking them. These assaults were at times witnessed by others and included one instance at an LA hotel in or around March 2016. That's the Cassie video that we saw, which was captured in a video and later publicly reported. Because again, that happened in 2016, and we did not see it until either 2023 or 2024. That he did, okay, where Combs kicked, dragging through a vase at a woman, and she was attempted to leave. When a member of the hotel security intervened, Combs attempted to bribe the staff member to ensure silence. Combs' violence was not limited to these women; it extended to his employees, witnesses to his abuse, and others. So again, the fact the bribery comes in is the fact that he tried to bribe the hotel security people to not put it out. Now, they took the bribe because we didn't see it back in 2016. We didn't see it until currently. So again, somebody took some money, okay? Combs used his businesses, including certain employees, to carry out, facilitate, and cover up his abuse and commercial sex. These employees, including security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and high-ranking supervisors, and other close associates at his Combs and the intermediaries, and their conduct was facilitated by Combs' control of the Combs business, meaning everybody he controlled did what he said to do, but they were also complicit in the stuff, okay? Again, all of his businesses they bring up as a enterprise, okay, as his associates who they're saying they all attempted to engage in sex trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution, coercion, enticement to engage in prostitution, narcotic offenses, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstructive justice, meaning from 2008 until whenever. People up under him in the Calm Enterprise were helping him do it the same way that Aura of the Kelly was arrested, and they said he had help getting stuff done. It's the same thing with Diddy. same thing. The only difference, and this is the same thing because Aura of we synced the video of him back in the late 90s, early 2000s, but with 2003 when the video came out of him and that girl. So we seen the sexual nature of the Aubrey Kelly situation, and with the Diddy situation, we seen the abuse part of seeing him beat up Cassie. So, child, okay. I want, because some of the stuff is repetitive. I don't want to be repetitive. I'm gonna just scroll. We know. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and get into, because it's a 14-page indictment. Okay. Kind of all saying the same thing that they kind of are saying in the press conference as well, that they had today. But we'll read this part of it a little bit. Combs and other members and associates of Combs Enterprise wielded the power and prestige of Combs. Role of the Combs business to intimidate, to threaten, and to lure female victims into Combs' orbit. Meaning, hey, come party with Diddy. You know Diddy from Bad Boy. You know Diddy, the CEO. You know Diddy, the producer. Yeah, let's entice people to bring them around him to get them in his orbit. He get his hands, his paws on them. Okay. Again, intimidate, threaten victims into Combs' orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship. Meaning, you want to bang Diddy. It's Diddy, you know what I'm saying? Combs then use force, threats of force, or coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sex acts with male commercial sex workers that Combs referred to as, among other things, freak-offs. Freak-offs were elaborated and produced sex performances that Combs arranged, directed, he hand fondled, himself, okay, while watching, okay, and often electronically recorded. And arranging these freak-offs Combs with the assistance of members and the soldiers of the Combs Enterprise. I hope everybody, child, if you was an assistant to Combs and helped that man, you better come forth and tell before they get you. Because sometimes if you participate in catching, because he's the big fish. Diddy is the big fish. You do not want the FBI, okay, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, looking for you. No, go look for them and say, I will tell you what he forced me to do. Okay, don't y'all sit around here. At this point, this is no longer the point of you trying to protect Diddy. Now it's time to protect yourself. That ain't called snitching, because do you want to go down with the ship? No, you should not. Okay. Anyway, in arranging the Combs freak-offs with the system members and the soldiers of Combs Enterprise, transported and caused to be transported commercial sex workers across state lines and internationally. Meaning, look, y'all, it is illegal. It is illegal to have people come across state lines to do it for money. If you don't know, if you was, Jermaine Jones and you live in Prairie, Texas, and you meet a girl and you want to pay for some kitty cat, it can be illegal. You're not supposed to pay for kitty cat over the state lines. It's called prostitution. Okay. Freak-offs occur regularly, sometimes lasted multiple days, and often involve multiple commercial sex workers. Combs distribute a variety of controlled substances to the victims, in part to keep the victims obedient and compliant. Sometimes, unbeknownst to the victims, Combs kept videos he filmed of the victims engaging in the sex acts with the sex workers. After freak-offs, Combs and the victims typically receive IV fluids to recover from the physical exertion and drug use. Members and associates of the Combs Enterprise, including high-ranking supervisors, staff, security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and other Combs business employees, facilitated freak-offs by, among other things, booking hotel rooms, stocking the hotel rooms, okay, with supplies, baby oil, lubricant, extra sheets, okay, lighting, cleaning the hotel rooms after the freak-offs, trying to mitigate room damage, arranging for travel for victims, commercial sex workers, and Combs to and from freak-offs, resupplying Combs with supplies, delivering large sums of cash to pay the people. Child, let's get into the press conference.
Morning, everyone. My name is Damian Williams, and I'm the U.S. Attorney here in the Southern District of New York. Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice. Let me say a little bit more about the charges. The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines. Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics, such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant. As alleged, when Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs, and that Combs hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims, at times by their hair. On one occasion in March of 2016, that conduct was captured on video and later reported in the media.
Now that's, of course, of the Cassie video. And what's crazy is I feel like even though when Cassie's lawsuit came out, the majority of us believed what she said that man did, I also felt like had the video not come out and shown exactly what she went through just in that moment, we may not have gotten to this point of us knowing, no, this man is capable of all the stuff they said he did. Because at that point, we had seen it with our own eyes. And that may also be why some other celebrities are not speaking out in support or against Diddy, because they either don't want to get caught up in the whirlwind of it. They may have seen stuff and don't want to be called as a witness. But child, it ain't looking good for Diddy or the people who helped him do it.
Specifically, Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a victim in a Los Angeles hotel when the victim was attempting to flee. As alleged, these assaults often resulted in injuries to the victims, which took days or weeks to heal. In addition to the violence, the indictment alleges that Combs threatened and coerced victims to get them to participate in the freak-offs. He used the embarrassing and sensitive recordings he made of the freak-offs as collateral against the victims. And the indictment alleges that he maintained control over the victims in several ways, including by giving them drugs, by giving and threatening to take away financial support or housing, by promising them career opportunities, by monitoring their whereabouts, and even by dictating their physical appearance.
Also, let's point out, I just want to make sure that people know, when all of this stuff was happening, it wasn't as if the public knew about Diddy per se. Even though there were whispers about, oh, this and that, most of the stuff was done behind closed doors and was slowly leaking out, like whisper about whatever. So think about anything that you've done behind closed doors in your own personal space that you may not want to be public knowledge. Even if you agree to do it or whatever, at the time, you don't want anybody else knowing your freaking business, okay? And if somebody records your freaky business and they then say, hey, I may put this out if you don't do A, B, C, D, F, and G, and they're already intimidating, threatening, and violent in general, you will fall in line until you're able to get free from it. So, you can't think about how things are today in 2024. Back in the late 90s, early 2000s, women did not have as much support. Hell, we barely have support now, So him purposefully recording things and then using it against people is crazy. And let's not forget, we never understood why so many Diddy artists and so many artists on Bad Boy never lasted. Careers fell off. It now seems as the possibility is Diddy been around here, Diddy by people's careers because he has an ego problem. He's an insane person, okay? And he needs Jesus.
Because of all of this, the indictment alleges that the victims did not believe they could refuse Combs without risking their security or facing more abuse. The indictment also alleges other acts of violence undertaken by Combs and others, including violence against witnesses to his abuse, kidnapping, and arson. The indictment alleges that on more than one occasion, Combs carried or brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten victims and witnesses. Now, Combs did not do this all on his own. As I mentioned, Combs has been charged with RICO conspiracy.
RICO. Yes, think about the guys who fly chicks out and get mad when they don't. That's a regular guy with a 9 to 5. Okay, think about if the huge producer that is Diddy is out here saying, "I will ruin your career if you don't play." The fact that making the band, and I heard somebody else say this. The MTV probably will never put Making the Band back on television because Diddy probably don't want it back on TV because it shines a light into the disturbing way he handles things. But if you can go find these old clips of Making the Band, we keep saying it. We didn't realize it. We didn't realize it then, but we realize it now. That shit was disgusting and crazy. But we just thought it was entertainment. Because Diddy said this is how and it was Diddy. It's on television. If it was wrong, wouldn't the police intervene? So again, it's insane to think of what he got away with simply because he got that powerful.
He used his business and employees of that business and other close associates to get his way. Those individuals allegedly included high-ranking supervisors in the business, personal assistants, security staff, and household staff. The indictment alleges that those individuals facilitated the freak-offs. They booked the hotel rooms and stocked them with the supplies, including drugs, baby oil, personal lubricant, extra linens, and lighting. When the hotel rooms got damaged, they helped clean it up. They arranged for victims and commercial sex workers to travel for the freak-offs, and they delivered large quantities of cash to Combs to pay for the commercial sex workers.
Because you can't pay hookers in credit cards or checks. You pay them in cash because cash can't be traced. Okay, and the fact that, because again, the same way we know the aura of the Kelly wasn't around here arranging things, he had people arrange it for him. He had people facilitate it for him. Diddy had other people on staff whose job it was to know what kind of lubrication he wants, what kind of sheets can absorb the grease that doesn't ruin the mattress at this fancy hotel. Okay, what kind of noise canceling devices can we have? Okay, the fact that he had staff on staff, okay, to be sure to have it all set. Know what kind of women he liked, what kind of men he liked, that the video recorder, the VHS tape is the right way, the camera's pointing right, the tripods is pointing right, it's the right again, he had people set the rooms up for that. The same way when you and your man getting freaky dicky, whatever, one of y'all have to set the room up. Okay, get the camera positioned the right way. Okay, get the right angle. Somebody has to do that. Okay, so all the people who were helping this, even if they were also victims of, and was forced to do things as well. Either way it go, if you were a worker of Diddy, you better come forth, okay, and be a witness, okay, and not a dang on co-defendant.
The indictment also alleges that they helped Combs cover up his crimes. During the March 2016 incident at the LA hotel that I mentioned earlier, a member of the hotel security staff intervened, and Combs attempted to bribe the staff member with a stack of cash to make sure that what happened was kept quiet. And as the indictment alleges, in late 2023, after public allegations were made about Combs's crimes, he and others pressured witnesses and victims to stay silent, including by making phone calls to witnesses and victims and giving them a false narrative of what they had experienced.
Because that's what people do. The same way we heard Ray J telling his kids, no, mommy and daddy wasn't fighting. That ain't what you saw. No, that ain't what you saw. Not at all. It's the same thing when you try to tell somebody, hey, remember that one time I coerced you to suck something? You didn't want to suck nothing, but you did anyway. You wanted to do that. Remember you wanted to do that? Okay. I also remember when Aubrey said that at some point last year, Diddy was having all the artists, hey, y'all, I'm going to give y'all back y'all publishing. But sign this good old NDA. Yeah. Because if you sign an NDA, you can't say stuff. Okay?
And as alleged, Combs used others to help conceal his abuse by monitoring and preventing victims from leaving a location in order to hide their injuries, or by locating and contacting a victim who had attempted to flee.
Because Cassie said he would put me at a hotel until my injuries healed. Oh, that mama gonna be in some stuff. I'm pretty sure, child, one of the baby mamas, there's gonna be other people involved. Child, maybe them kids too. Because I mean, the mama is also listed on the businesses. Okay, so even if mama playing one flight for one hooker, mama going down too.
As part of this investigation, in March of this year, special agents from HSI executed search warrants at Combs's residences in Miami and Los Angeles. They also executed a warrant for Combs's electronic devices. During those searches, agents seized evidence of the crimes charged in this indictment.
Stop. Look, when you are the predator, you saving the evidence is stupid, but we love it, okay? Because when you save the evidence, it helps convict you.
They seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 defaced AR-15s and a large capacity drum magazine.
Now, when you deface guns, meaning you scratch off serial numbers, that means you don't want anyone being able to trace where that gun came from, what it was used to do, and all that. No legal individual is scratching off the serial number of their gun if they're not doing wrong. Okay, so he says they deface the guns. It means they scratched off the serial numbers. And why you need an AK? Why you need a big old gun, Diddy, in the house for what?
They also seized evidence of the freak-offs, electronic devices that contain images and videos of the freak-offs with multiple victims.
The proof of the freak-offs. Meaning this is what he used. And again, maybe if you look, people have sexual desires and bloppy bloop. However, that's the one thing. If you and your man is keeping some little evidence of some little freaky time to have, it's different when you're having these freaky dicky parties and people are telling you, hey, I was forced to do this, I was forced to do that, and they then find said forced videos in the phones at that man's house.
And they seized cases of the kinds of personal lubricant and baby oil that Combs' staff allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for the freak-offs, more than 1,000 bottles altogether.
Guilty. That motherfucker's guilty. That motherfucker's guilty. That motherfucker's guilty. Because why does anybody need thousands of bottles of lubricant? Unless you own a porn company, you shoot movies for a living, why does anybody on God's green earth need, cases and 1,000 bottles of lubrications and baby oil? I'm just wondering, because 1,000 bottles at one time. How much fucking corn? Again, it's just little pieces of stack, and showing he did that shit.
Here are some of the items that we recovered during the searches. As you can see here, this is a drum magazine, large capacity, and it contains, I believe, 59 rounds. I mentioned as well we recovered 3 AR-15s. This is a close-up shot of one of the AR-15s, and you can see right here, the serial number has been thoroughly defaced. Another picture of more ammunition and parts of 2 AR-15s right there.
So again, they showing the fact that he had these huge guns, and I'm like, why do you? In my opinion, I don't think unless I watched the show SEAL Teams. The only time you need those kind of weapons is if you were going to war. Okay, if you're going to war, and the guns, and showing the scratch of the serial numbers, loaded extra barrels at the house. Okay, at the house, y'all. So no one is saying people can't have guns to protect themselves. However, your gun at home, the serial number should not be scratched off. And why do you need assault rifles that's usually used in war at the crib? In the nice version, Diddy ain't in the hood. Okay, he not in Compton where a shootout could happen. You over there living next to white people and black people who are rich and who has paid security.
Now, I want to be clear about 2 things. First, this office is determined to investigate and prosecute anyone who engages in sex trafficking, no matter how powerful or wealthy or famous you may be. No one should doubt our commitment on that. A year ago, Sean Combs stood in Times Square and was handed a key to New York City. Today, he's been indicted and will face justice in the Southern District of New York. Second, we are not done. This investigation is ongoing, and I encourage anyone with information about this case to come forward and to do it quickly.
Meaning, if you want what's best for you, you should probably get here. Okay, you don't want us to have to find you. Okay, because if we find you, we feel like you're trying to protect him, you're going down too.
Anyone with information can call 1-877-4HSI-TIP. I want to express my deep appreciation for the victims and witnesses who have used their voices and helped bring this criminal conduct to light. We would not be here without them.
The indictment describes aggressive, open, violent, hedonistic.
He's taking questions, y'all. This is questions from the media sitting there.
Abuse that you say was recurrent and widely known. Why did it take law enforcement so long to intervene? How many women were victimized by Sean Combs and how many others were involved?
Look, our investigation is ongoing. We are committed to bringing justice to everyone who's been victimized by the defendant. I can't tell you why it took so long. I think the better focus is on the fact that we are here today. And we are committed to making sure that justice is done. Next question.
Thank you. Julia Ainsley, NBC.
Thank you for doing this. You said we're not done and that Combs did not do this alone. Do you foresee that there could be other charges related to this case?
I'm not taking anything off the table.
Janet Fisher, Newsday.
What's the difference between the sex trafficking and promoting travel for the purpose of prostitution?
Well, there are different crimes with different elements. I don't think we should get into the nitty gritty of the legal discussion right now, but The sex trafficking, we believe, they're all serious offenses, but the sex trafficking conduct carries some significant penalties, and we are gratified that we were able to bring that charge.
One more coercive than the other?
I'm not going to be able to get into that, but you can look it up, and yes, sex trafficking, especially when it involves coercion or force, is a very serious crime, and it carries significant penalties.
Me and your ass is going to jail.
Good afternoon, Darla Miles, ABC7 New York. Thank you for this press conference and for the details. 2 questions. In context of this indictment and the information that was presented to the grand jury, are you able to clarify the number of victims? It's mentioned plural in the indictment, but can you specify the number of victims just for this particular indictment? And secondly, can you provide details about the alleged arson?
Unfortunately, I'm not able to provide either. The number of victims, you are correct. We are intentional in saying multiple. The details of the arson incident are limited to what we have in the indictment and also the detention letter that we filed, which contains more details than the indictment does at various points. But we don't have anything more beyond that.
The arson is when the thing of them saying that Diddy blew up Kid Cudi's car. That has already been documented before, so that's what the arson comes from.
Next question.
Lynn Tran, CNN.
Are any of his accomplices or associates under investigation? And additionally, could he face any more charges?
So the investigation is ongoing. That means both as to him and to anyone else who we believe committed the crime with him.
Meaning, if you work for, I need you to walk. You got to get up and walk into the thing and tell them people, hey, I'm here to confess the part that I played in it. Look, y'all, walk fastly, swiftly in and say, I'm here to testify, okay? Because you can't be sitting by and thinking, I may not have, no, go. Speak up for yourself. Defend yourself. It's no longer time to defend Diddy.
Next question.
Juliet Papa.
Hi, good morning from 1010 Wins. Any indication that some of the women or victims here were imprisoned in his residences, and did he have locations where he kept them, and were not allowed to leave? And also, he's indicted here, although there were searches and raids in LA, Miami. Why in New York?
Well, I'm biased. I'm the U.S. Attorney in the Southern District of New York. I think that we have an outstanding track record of bringing some of the most impactful, sprawling, complex, difficult sex trafficking, human trafficking, labor trafficking, you name it. The Southern District of New York can do it, and so we're very proud of that. And so the scope and complexity of this investigation isn't something that we ran from. It's something that we embrace, and we will continue to do that. As to your question about whether he imprisoned anyone, all I can say is that, I mentioned this March 2016 incident where something was caught on video where a victim was attempting to flee, and there was violence that was associated with it.
Was that at the residence or a hotel?
That was at a hotel.
Matthew Lee, Inner City Press.
Thanks a lot. Does your office intend to seek remand, or are you reaching a bail package? And if you're willing, how would you contrast this with the R. Kelly case in EDNY?
So requested remand means keeping him in custody. It means, because Diddy was arrested last night, will he get bond? Will he get bail? Will he be, released on his own recognizance? Will he have to be like in home confinement or whatever? They're asking about, do y'all want him to be able to get out of jail pending trial?
The elements, thanks.
So we will be seeking detention. We have filed a letter laying out our reasoning for seeking pretrial detention. I'm not going to be able to expand beyond what's in the letter, but it contains all of the reasoning, and it contains the law as well. There is a presumption of detention in a case like this, and we think that's warranted.
So the same way as they had R. Kelly being held while the trial was going on, the same way that, Young Thug was currently incarcerated in his trial, they're saying the same thing. We want to hold him in jail, that he should not be able to go home and live life lavishly while we're building this case and while it's going to trial.
John Anise, New York Daily News.
Thank you. I was hoping to get some more detail about the searches of his residence, the guns, the cases of lubricant, and the videos. Where were they found amongst his residence? Were they all scattered around the houses in one place? So I kind of wanted to just get a better picture of how that stuff was found.
Well, look, I think that some of the details that you're seeking are in the detention letter. So for instance, some of the AR-15s, 2 of the 3 defaced AR-15s were found in his bedroom closet in Miami, broken down into parts along with magazines with ammunition loaded in them. So some of that detail is in the detention letter. Beyond that, I'm not going to be able to get into where other items were stored.
Ben Kochman, Post.
Hey, thanks for doing this. Your office was the office that had been prosecuting Jeffrey Epstein before he died in custody. I have not read your detention memo yet. It's the first thing I'm going to do after this ends. But does the memo address, or is your office concerned with Combs's safety in custody, given what happened with Epstein?
So we are concerned with anyone's safety whenever they are detained prior to trial. It's part of our obligations to keep people safe as well. It's part of the criminal justice system. So, but I do not draw any sort of connection between Jeffrey Epstein's suicide and what may or may not happen to any other defendant while they are detained pre-trial. And of course, the decision whether to detain the defendant will be up to a judge. Our position is that pretrial detention is warranted under the law and based on the facts of this case. And I'll leave it at that.
Are some of the prosecutors on this case some of the same prosecutors that had been handling that or that worked on the Maxwell case?
So I'm not going to get into the staffing. I will say that this team, this group of AUSAs, this incredible group has been working on this case around the clock, and they've had their hands full.
Meaning, please stop trying to make connections between with this case and the Epstein case. We talking about Diddy bopping right now. Stop trying to play that game, sir. Stop playing with me. Okay, stop playing with me. What you were saying.
Next question.
Gus Rosendale, NBC News.
Good morning, sir. Combs' attorney said that his client has been cooperative with investigators. He said that this morning. I was wondering if you would have a reaction to that.
Let me just say this. I think that generally and with increasing frequency, the word cooperative or cooperating has taken on tremendous elasticity and no longer really bears any relation to what the word means when we use it in a very specific context. So responding to lawful process and the like does not qualify as cooperation when we use that term here.
Meaning Diddy's attorney's trying to play dictionary with words and make it seem like, well, no, he's cooperating. So there's nothing really going on here. It's like, no, that's not what's happening. Okay. Cooperation does not mean like it ain't no big issue.
Mike Sisak, AP.
Thanks. To that end, was there any discussion of Mr. Combs surrendering? I understand he was taken into custody at a hotel in Manhattan last night, and maybe that wasn't the plan. Can you elaborate on how that came about and why that was?
I'm not going to be able to get into any sort of operational details as to how he was taken into custody and when. He is in custody right now. He will be appearing in court later today.
Was there any discussion of him surrendering, given they claim he's cooperating?
I'm not going to be able to get into law enforcement tactics or operations.
If you need a big deal with the gun, how come they're not charged outright for liberating Syria?
Well, I can't get into the charging decision. It is very meaningful to us that weapons were possessed, as we allege in the indictment. Part of the reason why this conduct was so pervasive and harmful was because victims and others didn't necessarily feel comfortable denying him his wishes, as we allege, because of the presence of firearms. I should leave it there.
Thanks. Last question, Jacob Seamuson.
Jacob Shamsian, Business Insider. Thank you. Given that he's the sole defendant in this case and that you allege he's part of a conspiracy that involves members of his companies, do you anticipate a superseding indictment that bring allegations against other members of his companies or other co-conspirators as well?
I can't take anything off the table. Anything is possible. Our investigation is very active and ongoing. And I think a lot of you who cover this office know that when we say such things, that developments are certainly foreseeable, but I cannot predict them sitting here today. All right, thank you, everyone.
Now, first of all, yeah, Damian Williams is a star. Okay, he's like, let me lay it out. Let me let y'all know what's going on. Let y'all know what's happening. I also want to mention too, him mentioning how they were mentioning the guns in the house. You know, people had issue with how the SWAT team went in the house with their guns drawn. The whole innocent bystanders, we didn't do anything, nothing. And their point could possibly be, y'all was complaining about us going in with guns. Look what they had in the house. Okay, they had AR-15s in the house, so they had the same guns that we had. Okay. Again, he said that Diddy will be arraigned later. So I'm pretty sure when I go live tonight at 9 o'clock, we'll discuss whatever happens with Diddy's court appearance. But y'all, that's all we have for right now. Okay, because I'm finna go to work and stuff. Now look, Diddy charged, Diddy's arrested, Diddy's in custody. You know, they like we want to hold him. We don't want to let him go. But again, he had to go to court later on. We shall see. This child, Rico, stop committing crimes as an organization. Okay. And again, anybody who worked for Diddy and for Diddy's companies, if you are the person who went and purchased the baby oil, okay, the extra sheets, if you arranged travel, okay, if you was a chef that cooked the food, okay, if you were a person who gave IVs to have people have energy, run to the DA, the FBI, the police, or whoever. You need to help. If you were also someone who was forced to do things and you said you kept the stuff to yourself, okay? Anyway, y'all, Diddy did that. He did, okay? I will see y'all tonight at 9 p.m. for a longer conversation about everything else going on, okay? So be here at 9 p.m. tonight, okay? But right now, y'all have a good rest of y'all day. And again, if you know something, say something, okay? Diddy, the felon indictment, he's arrested, he's in jail. So much going on. Okay, but I love you all. Like the video, subscribe. Until later on, I gotta go. Bye.